Welcome to This Explainer. If you follow global logistics, you know it doesn't always feel like an exact science, right? Honestly, sometimes it's more like trying to tame absolute chaos. But today, we're going to climb the evolutionary ladder of AI in the supply chain to see exactly how distinct levels of artificial intelligence stack together to bring order to all that unpredictability. We're going to look at how these layers build on one another to completely transform how goods move around the world.
Think of it as a roadmap made of 5 escalating stages. We aren't just talking about one giant monolithic system here. We're going to start down at the foundational math of traditional AI, and step by step, we'll climb all the way up to the autonomous orchestration of agentic AI. Each rung on this ladder is absolutely essential, and each one unlocks a completely new capability for supply chain teams.
So here is our path up the ladder today. We'll start with the AI supply chain ladder foundation, move into traditional AI, then generative AI, where we'll really focus on how it's totally revolutionizing forecasting, before moving on to multimodal AI, AI agents, and finally, agentic AI. Let's get right into it.
Starting with the big picture, the AI supply chain ladder.
And the very first rung on that ladder is traditional AI.
At its core, traditional AI is purely quantitative. It's the math engine of the whole operation. It strictly forecasts demand, optimizes your inventory levels, predicts delivery times, and scores supplier risk. It's crunching massive amounts of historical data just to tell us what is likely to happen, and it optimizes transportation routes based on those hard numbers. It's incredibly powerful for sure, but it is purely numerical.
To anchor this foundation in reality, think about some of the real-world powerhouses out there. Walmart, for instance, relies heavily on traditional AI to make sense of astronomical amounts of consumer data. That's how they make demand forecasting and inventory decisions across thousands of stores. Or take UPS. They use their Orion system, which is a prime example of this optimization, to crunch complex variables from millions of daily delivery routes. It's all about precision, efficiency, and raw predictive power.
But numbers alone don't run a supply chain. People do. And that brings us to generative AI.
This is where the magic really happens, especially for forecasting. You see, generative AI doesn't just spit out a single number or a dense spreadsheet. It actually improves the entire utility of a forecast by communicating, summarizing, and generating strategic plans based on all that raw data. It drafts supplier emails, summarizes disruption reports, and creates logistics updates. And most importantly for forecasting, it explains exactly why inventory shortages might happen and generates actual scenario descriptions. It gives your data immediate, human context.
This pivot is an absolute game changer. Think about it. Traditional AI gives us the raw demand forecasts and the route math, like it tells us there's going to be a 15% spike in demand. Okay, great. But generative AI takes that rigid math and turns it into action. It dynamically drafts the emails to your suppliers to increase orders, it summarizes the potential disruptions if those orders run late, and it generates super clear scenario descriptions. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, so teams can actually understand and use the forecast in real time.
This is exactly why companies like Blue Yonder and Project 44 are all in on these generative AI tools. They aren't just handing raw data over to supply chain teams anymore. They're providing AI-supported insights that explain the why behind a shortage, rather than just reporting the deficit. It beautifully bridges the gap between machine intelligence and human decision-making, which empowers managers to act on those forecasts way faster and with a lot more confidence.
So we have the math and we have the voice. Now we need the senses. Enter multimodal AI.
Multimodal AI acts as the sensory system of the supply chain. It can process and synthesize vastly different types of data all at the exact same time. It combines rigid shipment records with live location data. It can literally use visual images to inspect products on an assembly line or monitor empty warehouse shelves. It seamlessly connects live weather feeds with routing information, and it actively reviews unstructured supplier documents. Basically, it sees the whole picture.
You can see this massive capability in action with a company like Amazon. They use robotics, cameras, sensors, and huge data streams all at once in their fulfillment centers to keep operations flawlessly visible. Side by side with that kind of tech, you have DHL pulling massive analytics across global warehousing and transportation. They're connecting maps, sensors, and shipment data to ensure total, unbroken visibility across oceans and continents.
With all that visibility and planning in place, we can step up to AI agents.
AI agents take all the intelligence we've built up so far and begin independently executing targeted tasks. They don't just advise, They act. They're actively checking shipment statuses, updating planning systems, creating follow-up tasks for suppliers, and crucially, routing exceptions directly to supply chain managers. Think of them as your tireless digital task runners.
To see this applied, look at platforms from Kinaxis and Manhattan Associates. Through these systems, an AI agent can seamlessly integrate into warehouse management execution. For example, an agent can reorder products entirely on its own as long as it falls under pre-approved rules. Or, if a shipment is running behind, the agent can proactively update customers about a delay without a human ever having to lift a finger or click a button.
And finally, we reach the top of the ladder, agentic AI. This is where everything brilliantly stacks into an autonomous workflow. Agentic AI is focused on broader, big-picture goals like overarching resilience and cost reduction. It orchestrates across multiple domains. Just imagine this flow. It continuously monitors demand changes. If it detects a supplier disruption, it doesn't just flag it. It actively compares alternative suppliers, evaluates the absolute best transportation options to get the new goods, and then recommends comprehensive inventory adjustments. It coordinates across procurement, warehousing, and logistics to solve the whole problem.
So, to summarize our entire climb today, these intelligence levels seamlessly build upon one another. We start at the base with Walmart's basic predictions using traditional AI. Then, generative AI layers on that crucial communication and planning, vastly improving our forecasts. Multimodal AI gives companies like Amazon and DHL the ability to actually see and connect data. AI agents execute specific tasks for systems like Kinaxis. And sitting right at the top, agentic AI, utilized by companies like Blue Yonder and O9 Solutions, orchestrates those massive enterprise-wide goals.
Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. When the AI ladder is fully stacked, when these systems can predict the disruption accurately, generate the perfect human-readable scenario, and autonomously execute the solution across global logistics, what is the future role of the human supply chain manager? How will your role evolve to manage, oversee, and guide this new, hyper-intelligent supply chain? It's a thrilling frontier for sure, and one we're all going to be navigating together,